Hey freshmen, so today you guys are going to be taking the summer reading paragraph that you've revised, and you're going to be having your icing edit day where you edit and polish everything up to get the formatting right now that your ideas are where you want them to be. So you'll have the Google Doc open where you did whatever you submitted already for your summer assignment revised paragraph. But we're going to go through these format fixes, and you are going to pause this video and fix each one along with me to make sure your format and your editing is going to match what happens on my example one that I'm walking you through here. So the first one is your 4-line MLA heading. If you already have this, that's awesome. Make sure that you formatted this heading to match what I'm about to show you on the Google Doc. So first thing you need is your name. So mine says Mrs. Wood right now, but yours is going to say your name. My computer catches up with me here. So it'll say your name, then it'll say my name, and then you're going to put your class. So you'll have English 9, and then whatever hour you're in. Then you're going to put the date, but you do the date in a European style format. So it's actually like the literal number day it is, and then the month, and then the year. So make sure that your 4-line heading is formatted like that. Now we're going to look at the boring title format. So for MLA format, you don't get to do any bold, italics, anything cool for your title. It's just boring, plain font like everything else. So if you don't even have a title, this is where you're going to add one. If you do have a title, the only thing you do for it is you center it on the page by coming up there and hitting center a line. And then you're going to come up with some kind of title for your paper. So insanely awesome title is what we're going with here. But do make a title for it that's something other than summer reading paragraph. Like think about what you wrote here and give me some kind of title that tells me something about the character paragraph that you've written. So a lot of times a rule of thumb is the cheesier the better for titles. So see what you can come up with, but give yourself a title that is centered in the page, but no bold, no italics, no underline, nothing like that. Now you are going to put everything in the standard size 12 Times New Roman font if your stuff is not already there. So if you hit Control A on your keyboard, it'll highlight every piece of text in your entire document. So Control A is a really good thing to do. And then you'll hit size 12, and we want to make everything Times New Roman. And now you've got the standard MLA font style that they are looking for. All right, now we're going to check for some in-text citations. So this means after the quote that's in your paragraph, you should have the author's last name and the page number where you found your quote directly in your sentence. So in this example paragraph, this student already has their the quote that they put in the paper, and then they have author's last name, page number, period, outside the parentheses here. That's perfect. So that's all you need to do is just verify that you have this happening, and you actually do want a space between your quote and the in-text citation you have in parentheses there. So just check and make sure that that has happened for you. And now this is probably the biggest time taker for this editing workshop is making sure that you have a works cited page. Nobody had one of these when you turned in your summer paragraph because I didn't put it on the assignment. But that is how this editing workshop is a little bit different from what you did the first time around. So to make a works cited page, this is something that you make to match this in-text citation that you've given. So when you cite something like this within your writing, you've got to have something somewhere else that tells the person reading your paper what this connects to. So it's kind of like a matching game. Like we have Hannah 20, but you need a full citation to go match that Hannah 20 and show them this is the source that I'm talking about here. And you can see the full MLA citation information for it. So that's kind of the why. The how you do that is you need it, your very entirely own new page for a works cited page. So you're going to find the very end of your paragraph. You're going to hit insert. You're going to find the thing that says break, page break. You're going to click it, and now you are typing at the top of a new page, and you are going to title it works cited. So you've probably heard works cited before, but you're only going to cite one source today, so all you need is just works cited. So you've got the title here. Now you need to put your citation. And to make this easy the first time we're doing it, I've made these citations for you. So in your slides for the week 2 slides, after this editing workshop slide, I have the book citations for each of the 3 summer readings that you guys did this summer. So all you're going to do is you're going to find the one that goes with your book. So this student wrote about Nightingale. So you're going to copy, Control C, Bring it back over to your works cited page, Control V, and now you've pasted it. See how it put a weird extra space in there? You're going to get rid of that. And now you have the full MLA citation that goes with the in-text citation that you have actually in your writing and in your paragraph up there. So that's what your works cited page should look like. It's really empty and plain because you only have one source you're working with here, and MLA format is plain and boring. So far so good on that. This is the point when you want to go back and make sure that everything is double spaced. Now that you have everything that you need, like word-wise, in your paper, you're just going to go back and remember I said if you do Control A, it highlights all the text in your entire Google Doc, and then you're going to double space it. So to do that, you're going to find this line and paragraph spacing at the top here. And if you can't see this, usually it's because your menu is hidden. So now, well, I guess you can still see it. But if anything weird is going on, check those little arrows. But you'll find this line and paragraph spacing. You'll find where it says double. Now everything is double spaced. You do want this 4-line heading double spaced as well. So it did put this extra space here in between your title and your writing, and you don't need that. So you can take that out. Make sure your paragraph is indented here. So you've got heading, there's a space here, and then there's your title, and then there's no space when you just jump in and actually start your paragraph that you wrote. So now this is double spaced as well. You can go ahead and center your title on your works cited page. Whenever you have longer MLA citations here, you're going to have to learn how to do hanging indentation in a Google Doc, and I will walk you through doing that when we get to that phase of your formatting. But we'll also go over how you know to get this information for a citation. But for now, we're just doing an editing workshop. You're just making sure you have this works cited page double spaced in the Google Doc that your revised summer paragraph is in. And this step, very important, you want to remove all the squigglies, which is these little red wiggly lines underneath words, and the typos in your paper. So you want to read through what you have written and see if you left any words out or did anything weird with formatting. And see how there's a red squiggly here? It's because something's misspelled. So you're going to get rid of those squigglies. So did you mean favorite? Yes, I did. Now it's there. All good. No more red squigglies anywhere in this paragraph. So once you've read through, gotten rid of the squigglies, read through your sentences, each individual one, to make sure you don't have any typos, any missing words. Your brain can fill in things when you're reading it in your head that like you don't catch on the actual paper. So just give yourself the time to come back and look at it, fix any typos you've got. And the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to put a tag statement in your first sentence. So a tag statement is going to be pretty standard for English papers when we're writing about literature or about texts in general. It won't always be your first sentence whenever we do longer writing assignments, but for this one paragraph assignment, it is going to go in your first sentence. And all tag stands for is title, author, genre. So when you look at your summer paragraph, you want to make sure you have the title of the book, you want the author of the book, and you want the genre of the book. So let me show you what that looks like whenever you add those three pieces. So first thing is the title of the book. There's the title, but it's a book title, so you want to make sure your book title is italicized by clicking this little italic button. Now that's formatted, all good to go. The author is not here, so in the book, The Nightingale, you could just go right in here and say by Kristen Hanna. And then you actually don't have to have this comma. So in the book, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, comma, and then you go into that part we've already worked on, right? Character was my favorite character because here's my reason, and the message. So you're just adding in that title, author, and then genre is the last piece, and that just means you're describing what kind of text you're working with. So this student already has book written, and that's great. You could say for that one, in the historical fiction book, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, or you could say in the historical fiction novel. But you want to think about what kind of book or novel your summer reading was. I would call Nightingale historical fiction. You could say dry is more like dystopian almost, or you could do realistic fiction. And realistic fiction is going to work for being Henry David as well. But just add to that first sentence, make sure you've got title, author, and genre, and make sure you're looking to edit where you might put those commas and italics and things like that as you are finishing up your editing work. So now we've gone through this whole list. Your editing workshop, Icing format fixes should be all completed at this point. You can go back through and rewatch anything that you had trouble with. But this should be what your paper looks like after this editing workshop. It should be formatted like this. You should have this works cited page. And the last thing that you're going to do to get these editing workshop points is you are going to turn in this Google Doc into the editing workshop assignment on my Kasha. It's going to run it through turnitin.com for you for the first time, so you can see what that looks like as well. But this is how papers should look when you turn them in going forward for English 9. There's a lot you can tell from a first impression of a paper about how much effort students put into it. Like, did you take the time to do the icing work at the end, right? Because we said the cake part where you're fixing up your ideas is really important, because if your cake is bad, it doesn't matter how good the icing is, it's still not going to taste good, right? But once you've got the cake figured out and you do come back and do the icing work, that's where you can start to do some really impressive things and really polish up what you've got and make it look nice. So that's what you want to keep in mind going forward. And go ahead and when you get your formatting and your typos and all that whole list we went through all fixed up, turn it into the assignment on my Kasha, please.